we were talking earlier about racism, and I'm seeing it in the UK, where we have some of our ministers encouraging an increased birth rate, and yet we have this refusal of people who would love to immigrate to this country. And you're saying that France, you were telling me?
Yeah, in France, the political system is kind of being faced to this issue because at the far right side there is this theory of conspiracy and also replacement theory, which has been theorized by Renaud Camus, and which consists in saying that France's native population are systematically being replaced by Westerns, which is not true, but this has been raised as a nationalist concern by far-right militants. And this is also spreading racism amongst the population and growing fear to those who are not native from France and who are immigrant from France, because some of them are just being rejected by some part of the population who do really believe in that replacement theory, even if it is unbelievable. Last presidential elections, we have seen a candidate whose name is Zemmour, Eric Zemmour, who also embedded this conspiracy and great replacement theory to capture far-right militants for the vote for the presidential elections. And this is a raising concern, and I think that this might be tackled in the right way, because if it's this phenomenon still grow, we may face a kind of hard rejection or xenophobia within France, or racism, growing racism, which is not good for all of them, not for the migrants, not for the native people. What we need to know is migration is part of the DNA of the human being. The history of human beings starts with migration. It's, yeah.
Oh, well, I had a slightly different angle to migration, because I'm seeing with the climate change, people are unable to subsist in their home country, and that, coupled with the obsession with economic growth, which is global, that the world has not got enough resources at the moment. We're way over carrying capacity, and that is driving a lot of the migration that we're seeing at the moment. These are desperate people who can't subsist in their own land.
Yeah, you're right. But when I say that migration is part of the DNA of the human being, if we go in the past, human being migrated because the soil started to be poor, not enough sufficient to sustain their crops and living conditions. So if we see what's going on in the world, so with people, huge amount of people, huge number of people migrating from poor countries to Western countries, this is linked to this global growth and this climate change issue. If you take, for example, in poor countries, there are scarcity of rainfalls, which has been, according to scientists, affected by the climate change, by pollution, air pollution, by extractive companies, we have all scientific evidences that shows that climate change is affecting poor countries. How do we expect those from poor countries to react, to be resilient, if we don't give them the key? And one of the key for me is global degrowth. Global degrowth is a concept that at the first sight you can be scary about, but if you look deeply in that, there is nothing to be horrified about global degrowth. Global degrowth is fitting into your environment, taking what you need not what the art company tells you is good for you. Taking what you need, that means fitting in your environment, living your environment, and living through your environment. So for me, this is the key to tackle this global issue of climate change. And we all know that if we do continue our consumerism system like this, because there are overshoots in Western countries every year, and we do know that in remote countries, like poor countries, because we do not tackle that issue, because we have other priorities, we don't deal about, oh, this year we have the overshoot. No. So because there are a lot of priorities, so we need to tackle the issue. When we will tackle definitely the issue of climate change, then we will see a kind of stabilization of the population movement, and also a kind of stabilization of migration, for example.
Thank you, Oumar. I'm thinking we were going to go on to talk about the dependency that results in a country like your own, in Burkina Faso, from this adoption of the consumerism that we've exported. So you were explaining how your country is now dependent on foodstuffs that they didn't used to indulge in, like bread, and they're dependent on growing grain from other countries, whereas before they were self-sufficient from the millet and the sorghum. So this is all part of growth economy, where outside influences are causing your people to indulge in foodstuffs that are not sustainable within your country.
And if we see the global economy, the way it works, everything is intertwined, interlinked. And if you take, for example, in Burkina Faso, where we do not have the capabilities in terms of how the nutrient of soil to grow and water resources to grow wheat, but we consume bread, and those wheat we are importing, and this is affecting our lifestyle, because we, as a Burkinabe people from Burkina Faso, we do not grow this speculation. We do not grow this cereal. So that means that we grow sorghum, we grow millet, we grow corn. But the use that we make from those local speculation is not the way that we make from the imported one. Like we are dependent in terms of wheat. We import wheat, and this affects our economy, and this affects our living style as well. So we need to think about, as I earlier mentioned, fitting in the local environment is using the local resources to feed yourself.
And we need to do the same in the UK, because we wouldn't survive without all the foodstuffs that we import, many of which are luxury goods that are non-essential. And furthermore, we are just way over the carrying capacity of the size of our little country. So thank you very much for comparing your situation and ours in UK.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. I'm always happy to share with you.
Bye-bye.